Hello everyone, this is Daniel and welcome to the 21st part of this character modeling tutorial series. So in the last part we just worked on the low poly version for the helmet, which we finished, and actually I really want to show you one more time. We also looked at some shader testing for this this part, so it looks quite nice. I think it has a very nice stylized feel to it, and you know, there's a lot of adjustability here, so that was pretty cool to see. But now we're back to our main file, and we need to do some additional well, low poly modeling here. And today I wanted to work on the body a little bit, and I just want to point out quickly, you may have noticed already, but it's very important that you keep your scene organized in the outliner, because at the end of the last part there was a moment where I didn't really know where my objects are anymore. So I went through each one of them and categorized it to, well, the first collection here that I created is just some temporary objects that I had created throughout my modeling process, which I don't need anymore, but I don't want to delete them, so I keep them here. You can create a new collection, by the way, by just clicking on one of these collections with your right click, and from the context menu just click new collection. Then you can, you know, just drag stuff in and out of different collections. So I have this one for, well, miscellaneous items, and then there is high poly and then low poly. And so my task now is to create a pair for each object up here, down here. So here's the helmet, helmet high, helmet low. The other ones are, however, not optimized yet or not joined together yet. So whenever there is like multiple objects that we need to join together, there should be, like, you know, they should be together. They shouldn't be separated into several objects. And today we want to work on the body, and I do want to bake the body together with the ears, and actually the arms I want to join as well. Actually, there's a lot more that I want to join to this group. I think this entire part will be joined to it as well. This will be joined as well. This is all going into one mesh. And so, because this is going to be baked as one, we'll have to join these together as well. So I'm usually saving different versions of this. So you see I'm on version 6 now, and so after I join objects, I make sure that I save it as a separate version, just so that in case I ever want to go back to a point where these were separated, I still have a version like that available. So let's get started then. So yeah, since we want to join them, we won't have much of a choice other than just applying some of these modifiers here. And that's why I'm saying, so you won't be able to undo that later, so make sure you save this afterwards as a different version. So let's go ahead and apply all these modifiers, and then we can just join it with Ctrl J to the main body like this. And we're going to do the same with the belt and the cloth here. So join that together as well. Make sure nothing changed in the appearance, and then this is going to be sort of the mesh group, and we're just going to call this body underscore high. Yeah, let's, by the way, instead of hiding this, we can actually also disable it. So when I now hide something and unhide it, then this upper collection won't show up anymore. So that's a bit convenient. Finally, one last consideration is I think I actually want to join this in as well, because this is still sort of a connected part. It's not like here where the parts move completely like separate from each other. So yeah, let's do that. I'm going in here, I'll apply the modifiers, just check if that's all good. Right, and we join this in here as well. So, so today let's actually start with just the upper body. I realized we might have to look a little bit of some missing details here. I just realized that now. But that doesn't stop us from doing retopology on the upper body so far. So I'll hide everything else with Shift H and start with a new object this time. I'll just move it on the side somewhere. Let's put it here maybe. I don't know, anywhere. And add a mirror modifier. I also want to enable clipping, and this is sort of my basic setup for getting started with retopology. And just leave it here on the body for a moment. I realized that actually I think I do have a pretty good topology layout available already. So if I just quickly make a copy of this object that I have created before, we worked on this in one of our first parts, and I'm just going to move this to low as well and just hide this collection again. And the plane that we just created, this also belongs to low, so let's just keep things in order. And then in this new object, let's just delete everything we don't need for now. We don't need the fingers, we don't need any of this. We only need basically the body. Let's also get rid of the ear even. So yeah, so that's the body, and now this is not, you know, it's not well aligned with our character yet. So what I like to do here is I use a shrink wrap modifier on this low poly mesh. I then select as a target the high resolution mesh, and I usually do that before just, yeah, I mean, you can do it both ways. And then I think the resolution here is not quite enough. Although it's supposed to be a low resolution mesh, I still think we should go a bit more high resolution, since yeah, I mean, game engines aren't that bad these days, so it can handle about this much. And I do want it to be smoother, and we might do a little bit of rework on our helmet as well at some point, because I'm not super happy with how rough it turned out. So I am going to go with something slightly higher here this time. Let's now go in and apply, duplicate actually our shrink wrap modifier, and then I'm going to apply it one more time. Actually, instead of on surface, I'm going to hit above surface, or so, yeah. I think that will work a little bit nicer, just in case there were any mistakes. And so this is now snapped to the surface in various places. And just now, to make the topology a bit smoother, you know, I'm just going to enable wireframe again quickly so that it's easier to see. With the slide and relax brush, holding shift, I'm just going to smooth out the topology a bit. And actually, the mirroring modifier usually makes a couple of issues, so I'm actually just going to apply it for now. And then back to sculpt mode, we can now go in with symmetry turned on. I'm just going to brush over this and smooth out different regions where we can. Like some places, smoothing will not help much, but yeah, wherever you can. Great, I can't use my pen because I don't have middle mouse button mapped to my keys, I believe. Well, never mind. Let's just use the mouse for this. And yeah, that just helps smooth out the topology. You'll see it looks a lot nicer after you do that compared to before, especially since we did like a subdivision without smoothing it in edit mode. This step just helps smooth things out quite a bit. And now we can go in manually and maybe add a loop cut here, just move it right to where the transition is. Scale it down a little bit. And whenever you feel like the points in edit mode are a bit too far away from the surface, just duplicate this modifier and apply it one more time. Then they're back on the surface, and you can, you know... Oh, something strange happened there. Yeah. And should anything go wrong with the symmetry, you can always just delete half of your mesh. Add a mirror modifier. Let's make it visible. Enable clipping. Then just join these together, like so. And then we're basically, and if you want to keep editing, I suggest you just apply this one more time, and then and yeah, other steps you can do is duplicate this again and apply this again, and then it's all reset, so then you can use this brush again easily without any artifacts. Yeah, so I think something around here will be the best for this, and you see we kind of also have the arm now in this as well. Now this could be good, but it could also be bad, because I think I want this to be a little bit, you know, more visible, and I wonder if actually the resolution isn't maybe already good enough. So what I'll try to do is I'll reduce it, but I'm going to base it on the high resolution mesh. So I'm going to make a copy of the high resolution part, separate it, and join it into but we'll apply the shrink wrap modifier now so that it doesn't do that anymore. And then we join these together. So this part is now part of this high res mesh that we're working on. Then I'm also only going to work on one side now, so let's just ignore what's happening over there. We'll just fix the symmetry later. I also want to, like, here is the mesh that we worked on before. Select one of these rings right around here, go to select, select loop, select inner region, and we're just going to delete this entire inner part. And for this ring that's left here, let's just move it out a little bit, and we'll try to sort of line these up later. We're kind of lucky here that this just lines up as is. But yeah, we're just going to do something like this. And let's just see the count quickly. So this is 16, this is also 16, so yeah, it lines up perfectly. Now the only thing that's not very efficient here is that this is way too many subdivisions. Around this curvature it's just right, but along it, like here, we have way too many subdivisions. So I'm pretty sure I can go in here and just select a bunch of these loops now to get rid of them. Let's be careful down here maybe. So hit X for delete and edge loops, so that gets rid of them. And in here, let's delete the inner one for each, since the normal map will smooth that out quite nicely. And then we can also delete this one for sure. And that's already looking a lot better. Yeah, why not? Why not stick with that? I think that's not too bad at all. Then, to fix this up, let's just work with snap to face again. And I'm just going to move each of these points close to, let's see if that lines up. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with this. Make it line up like so. It should all even out eventually. Like, it's a bit of a disruption at the moment, but we can smooth the topology out after this. So just make sure that you have a pair of points everywhere. Then select these two loops, hit Ctrl E, bridge edge loops, hit the merge tool, and then just slide it to maybe 0 in this case. That seemed to be enough, although not too sure about it. No, let's actually slide it to the lower side, just because that's a bit more accurate, I believe. Also, at this, let's see. Yeah, I think that's alright. That will work out. Now just finally to fix up the sort of topology a little bit, I'm going back into sculpt mode. Let's just set this to white again. And then only on these upper ones I'm going to use the slight relax brush. And I'll try not to touch the lower ones at all. So just to smooth out a little bit how the flow is of the topology, I'm going to do this here. Yeah, so if you can't see them very well, you can also use that X-ray tool up there. Makes it a bit easier. Good. Now, you might have lost a little bit of volume, but I think it's actually not too bad in this situation. Could go in and snap these to the faces again manually, but then you kind of lose your smoothing. Another thing you can do is select these, create a very quick vertex group for them. So I'm just going to assign these in my selection, and then create a shrink warp modifier, select your target, and then select the vertex group. So yeah. So that only these snap to the surface and not anything else. And then of course you can apply it as always. Now just to fix the symmetry quickly, let's delete half as we did before and mirror it again. As we usually do. And I don't... although we do we do need this part here. Yeah, but what we can do down here is quickly just snap it to the edge. We don't need anything below it, so I'm just going to snap it to this edge here, and it's going to be a bit tricky actually since it's kind of going upwards. So what can we do about that? Let's just start by making sure that this edge is all the way at the top, and then we'll think about it. So this here, this to here. This goes here. So I apologize for, you know, the really long videos recently. It's like, this is quite common in character modeling, I feel from my experience. The more time or the further you get into a project, the longer the steps start to take. Like in the beginning, it's very easy to, within an hour or 2 hours, get to a point where you can already see like the silhouette of your character and you know, it's taking shape. But then detailing and just making things look better and such just takes a lot of time. So I hope you can understand. So now with edge slide, just hit G twice. I'm just going to slide these up for once, and then I'm going to slide them back down. Actually, there seems to be like one point still missing. Just move it here. And then we can slide these down again. And this just helps to distribute them a little bit better. And since, oh yeah, just make sure you don't have snap to face on it when you do that. And this way, you know, they'll just spread out a bit more nicer. You can also go in and relax them. I mean, the normal map should be able to figure this out, the baking. Now there's one part I'm a bit concerned about here. Since this is an intersection with quite a sharp corner, I'm not too sure how well this will turn out in a normal map, so I think I will go ahead and separate these after all. So all of these will go in a separate mesh, and the upper body will stay as is. So now this is a bit annoying. I think I should have made this decision earlier, because that means that pretty much we don't need this line to intersect nicely anymore. So I'm just going to move it down again. I kind of wasted your time there, didn't I? Well, that's just how it goes with character modeling sometimes. Sometimes you just realize things a little bit later, and probably you guys just followed me step by step there, and now I'm just telling you to undo things again. But yeah, that's just how it turns out to be. Alright, I'm using the sculpting tools quickly to smooth this out again, and I think we got it quite nice, smooth. So the last thing that I'll do is to just select these. Just make sure, let's delete this vertex group, add a new one and assign these, and then I will do the same trick one more time. Shrink wrap to this object, only where the vertex group is, and that will just make sure that everything is on the surface very nicely. And just, yeah, I think that's okay as is. Let's turn off this X-ray. Just want to move this up a little bit. And yeah, so here we are. Let's mirror this quickly. So this is going to be upper body low. Then yeah, we kind of created this object in the beginning. We ended up not even needing it. I was thinking of doing more manual retopology, but it turned out that that's already pretty good. There's actually one part I just now found that I'm not too happy with. Would be nicer if we could slide these points down a little bit further. Now, why is it not working? Must have a setting wrong somewhere. Yeah, but basically what I want to do is shift this down a little bit further to be like on the sort of top point in the silhouette. And this one a little bit in this direction. That will just help. Yeah, for some reason. Wait, am I in the right selection? I should check. Alright, something with my selections seems to have been wrong. No, actually not. Maybe it's symmetry? I have no idea. Let's apply this for a second. Oh, masking seems to be something. Clear mask. Okay, now it works. I'm not too sure what happened just there, but it seems to be fixed now. So I'm just going to smooth this upper part out a bit and this lower part without touching these two lines that I just edited. And then finally, just to make sure that everything is on the surface, select all this, and with snapping on, snap it to the surface. So yeah, something like that should be better for the silhouette compared to what we had. Yeah, and with that I guess we have to go and do the whole mirroring and symmetry again, but doesn't take too much time. So here we are. So that's now the body. Yeah, we missed the ears, I notice now. But we can look at that separately. It's taking already too long. So let's just make sure that the name is correct for this. So this is also upper body high, and this is upper body low. So these are one pair. Just the ears are missing, so we have to make sure to add the ears to this mesh later. Alright, so let's go ahead and quickly hide all the high res and look only at our low res. Yeah, I'm not too sure about the helmet. I'll be honest. We will have to fix this. I failed a bit on this one, so I hope we'll get a chance to work on that. But for now, let's just cheat a bit and make it look a bit better than it actually is by using flat shading. But yeah, this part is a lot better from a topology point of view. So yeah, we'll continue just like that. I'm sorry these parts are going to be a bit tedious, but So yeah, that's that. I hope you enjoyed today's video as usual, and yeah, I will see you again next time. Have a good day.